number one, you're providing value and you're showing up from this place of wanting to truly serve and truly provide
Hmm.
value, number one. Um, but also then being able to articulate the transformation that your client is going to get. Because
Hmm.
if your ideal client can feel you and they're like, oh my God, like she sees me, she gets me, and she can help me, they're not going to care what the price tag is.
Welcome to Love Magic Miracles. I'm Alina Gigi, and if you're a soul-led entrepreneur who wants to make a big impact in the world, you're in the right place. And if you'd love to weave feminine embodiment into your everyday and quantum leap every area of your business and love life to new heights, then plug into these conversations with these inspiring thought leaders and hit subscribe, comment, like, and share with someone you care about today. Hello, it's Alina Gigi from Love Magic Miracles, and I have a very special guest for you today. I have Karli. She is a manifesting mentor. She helps with offer creation, and she's the messaging queen. She really helps you create and sell out your next high level, standout, signature program. Can't wait to hear what you have to say today, Karli. Welcome aboard.
Oh, hello. Thank you for having me. What a beautiful introduction. You have a
Mm.
beautiful voice, by the way.
Thank you.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So, let's start with momentum because that's what brought us together.
Mm.
Intuitively, we came across each other's feeds. We instantly just plugged in. We're like, there's an alignment here. I'm like, do you want to be on the show? You were like, yes. And we just got that really strong yes feeling. And we both just honored that gut intuition. How
Mm.
can people do that in business and really make the most of it?
Oh, that's such a good question. And you're right. Like both of us, we were just like, yes, let's do this. And we were sort of talking just before we started recording about like the power of just taking action and going for it. And I think if we sort of look at this through a business lens, there is so much like, oh, before I take action, everything's got to be perfect. I've got to have everything ready. I've got to feel ready. And so what tends to happen, and especially like a lot of the people that I've worked with in the past, they're holding themselves back. And I remember even working with this woman who she had this offer on her heart for like 2 years. And she had it on her heart, but she didn't know the next best steps. And she was like, oh, it's not perfect yet. It's not perfect yet. It's not perfect yet. She came and worked with me and we had the offer launched and she had 9 people in the offer within 2 weeks. Right. So
Mm,
doesn't that just like show you the power of just trusting yourself when you,
yeah.
you feel like something's right within you, you feel like you are meant to do something. You feel like you're getting this nudge, right? The power of just taking action, not knowing how it's going to turn out, not necessarily knowing the next best step, but knowing that you can go and get the help with the next best step. I just think that is so powerful.
Mm. Yeah, I do too. That's well
Mm.
said. And things can sit on the shelf. And I've looked into this. Why aren't I taking off action on this offer? Is it imposter syndrome? Is it
Mm.
perfectionism? Is it not feeling good enough? What other reasons do people have kind of almost subconsciously sitting there that you've come
Yeah.
across?
I think they're the big ones. It's, am I good enough? Is what I want to do good enough? Am I going to be able to, like do it justice? I've heard a lot of people say, but a
Hmm.
lot of it I think comes down to that fear of judgment and that fear of like, oh God, like what if it doesn't work? What if I go out there and I take the action and, people talk about me or I don't like, let's say it's launching an offer, right? What if I don't fill the offer? What if I only get 1 or 2 people in there,
Hmm.
right? It tends to be that sort of stuff. But when it comes to the whole like fearing judgment and fearing what other people are going to say, like I always, always think of it like, well, are those people paying your bills?
Hmm.
No, they're not, right? But it's more than that. It's yes, that there is the money aspect, but it is also like you having the opportunity and taking the chance to actually live a life and do the things that you feel so lit up by. Like, honestly, I can't think of anything worse now. The stage and the phase that I'm in my life, I couldn't think of anything worse than like sitting on my dreams and just, waiting for that, oh, maybe one day. I feel
Hmm.
like I spent a really big piece of my life, like living a good on paper life or sort of settling, right? I don't know if you
Hmm.
can relate to that or your listeners
Definitely.
might. Um, I spent too much of my life doing that to now just be like, you know what, if it feels good and if I feel like there is something there, like I am just going to go for it. And sometimes it's not going to work out. And I have plenty of examples where I've taken big action and it didn't work out. But
Mm-hmm.
it's always led me to the next piece, the next, it's opened that next door and it's allowed me to go, okay, like if that wasn't the thing, what did I learn from that? And where am I now being led that I can kind of follow that path? I think that if you are number one, you're providing value and you're showing up from this place of wanting to truly serve and truly provide
Mm-hmm.
value, number one. Um, but also then being able to articulate the transformation that your client is going to get. Because
Mm-hmm.
if your ideal client can feel you and they're like, oh my God, like she sees me, she gets me, and she can help me, they're not going to care what the price tag is,
Mm-hmm.
right? If we're solving a problem that your ideal client actually values solving enough that they're willing to pay for it, they are not going to care what the price on the offer is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's
Mm.
great. And what's the main problem you help people solve with your offers?
Yeah. So look, I mean, I help people create and sell out their offers. So a lot of the people that come to me, they tend that they're coaches. They tend to be coaches who have done a lot of one-to-one work, mainly around like mainly in like, selling once-off sessions. So I work with a lot of spiritual
Mm-hmm.
coaches, a lot of healers who, might do like a one-to-one, once-off breathwork session or a Reiki session or whatever it is. And they tend to find that their calendars get booked up pretty quickly, right? But then they don't have time or space to actually work out like what's next in the business. How can I
Mm-hmm.
make more money, make a bigger impact, but I can't put more clients in my calendar, right? Without sacrificing more time with my family, right?
Mm-hmm.
And think about it, like a lot of people, we start our businesses because we want freedom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we want to do the things that we feel really lit up by and we feel passionate about, but we want to create a life of freedom. Okay, we want to
Mm-hmm.
be able to go, all right, you know what? It's Friday and it's 2 o'clock. I'm going to switch my computer off and I'm going to go and spend time with my partner, or I'm going to go and spend time at the beach or take my kids out somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't necessarily start our businesses to feel like we've created another job. And that tends to be like what a lot of my clients are feeling. They're like, oh my gosh, like I've created another job for myself. Like, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to make more money, but I can't see a way to do that without putting more and more clients on my calendar. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what I help them is I help them scale their offers. I help them create a signature program. So instead of say helping, like let's say they've got an hour to help one client,
Mm-hmm.
instead of just helping one client in that hour, they can be potentially helping 10 or
Mm-hmm.
20 people in that hour. So they're not only amplifying their impact, right? Because they're able to help more people, they're probably not even probably, they're definitely showing up in a much different energy because they're not feeling burnt out by all of these sessions that they're trying to kind of keep up with. And, looking at the calendar and being like, all right, who have I got now? What's the problem that I'm here to solve now? And then I'm going to do it again and again and again,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they're able to have a greater impact because they're helping more people in one moment. And of course, as a result of making more impact, the income follows, right? So they're
Great.
making then more money for themselves to be able to create this more, um, to create this freedom that they actually wanted to create at the beginning.
Great.
Mm.
So what's working right now like the best? Is it a group coaching situation? Is it online? Is it retreats? Where are you seeing the best impact there to
Mhm.
and the easiest way to scale?
Well, it all depends on the person, right? There's no like, I don't believe in cookie cutter, like one size fits all. Like the
Mm-hmm.
way that I work is a very personalized approach, right? So all of my clients, they get my eyes and my hands in their business. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's not only about what's working best in general, it's like, what do you feel most lit up by? So I have clients who have run retreats because that's the thing that excites them. However, do they base their whole business model on retreats? Probably not, right? So they've
Mm-hmm.
probably got some kind of um, group signature program as
Mm-hmm.
well as that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But generally speaking, we like I love a hybrid program, right? So a
Mm-hmm.
hybrid of where we've got some group sessions. So then we get that community and we also get to learn from other people. We
Mm-hmm.
put ourselves in the room with people who are doing the things that we want to be doing. Okay. So there's that piece. And then the one-to-one side of things as well. So, if you do want some extra like that personalized, tailored support, like, I mean, I absolutely love one-to-one. But I guess it becomes challenging if that is the only method or the only format that you're offering, because you are
Mm.
limited to how you can scale. And as well, like pre-recorded modules. So actually having content there that people can take themselves through. So the way that my signature program, Clients Confidence and Cash, is actually set up is it's a hybrid of all of this, right? So there's like 6 pre-recorded modules. So the guys can go away and they can watch that. And then they come to a weekly Zoom call. They ask any questions that they have, or they get any coaching that they want. And then we've got a Telegram community, Telegram group as well. So if they're like, hey, I'm just writing this post, can I get your eyes over this? Right. So they can chuck that in the Telegram group, and then they get that coaching on the go. So it kind of, fuses
Mm.
them all together, which I've found personally to be an incredible model for myself. And then I have like one-to-one um, opportunities as well.
What percentage of people's ability and success to scale is based on mindset?
I would say a pretty huge part of it.
Okay.
I mean, the way that I operate is by bringing the mind, the strategy, and the energy together. Okay. Because it's
Mm.
very easy to think sometimes like, oh my God, like I've just got to go and do the strategy. I've got to go and do all the things. But what place are you doing that from? Are you doing that from a belief of, like it's never going to work for me, or, comparing yourself to other people, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the other side of it. It's like I've got the best mindset. Like, I believe in myself, but I'm not taking either enough action, or I'm not taking enough of the right action.
Mm.
Okay. And then of course there's the energetic piece, right? It's like, how are you taking care of yourself? What's the environment that you are, creating for yourself as well? So I'm a big believer in that the three need to really go together
Yeah.
in order to create the kind of success that I know my clients want and that most people want. So that's a very
Mm.
roundabout way of answering your question.
It's great. No, it's super clear, and I agree with you. I'm aligned to that, and that
Yeah.
totally makes sense. And yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Can you give a specific example on where it would work, of a business model and one aligned strategy, energy, mindset that would work well together, or something you've seen that's been a win that one of your clients have achieved?
Okay. Let me think about that. So a win. So I guess what tends to happen with a lot of my clients is that, as I said, I tend to work with a lot of people who are quite spiritual, and
Mm-hmm.
that are manifesting their
Mm-hmm.
clients and that sort of thing. And this has happened a couple of, well, quite a few times, but one particular I guess example that I will share with you is one of the women who came into Clients Confidence and Cash. She was like manifesting her clients, and what she found was that she was spending probably more time on her meditation pillow than she was actually taking action, right? So she was very big on, like, I've got a journal, I've got to feel into it, which is brilliant. I love that. But we've got to take the action as well, right? So what
Mm-hmm.
she was doing was she was operating from a very, I guess, a very emotionally charged place. And what she would find was that she was only showing up when she felt good, right?
Mm.
Which is a real challenge in business, because obviously, yes, we want to honor how we're feeling. We want to be able to move with our emotions to an extent. But if we're only showing up based on how, if we're only showing up, say, on the days that we really feel like it, then we're not going to be able to build a thriving business, because there's always going to be days where we don't feel like showing up. And there's always then going to be, you know, we can always feed that as well, right? So we've got to get
Mm.
really good at being able to, in a way, like separate the emotion piece from the taking action piece, while also taking care of our emotions and our mindset and our energy, right? Which is
Yeah.
interesting. So what this particular woman was doing, like, I guess she was creating very like fluffy content, very like nice feeling content, but it wasn't actually activating her clients to take any action. So she had these, like, she'd created these beautiful offers and she was trying to sell them, but she was resisting that strategy piece because she associated that with being like very masculine, right? And she was more in that feminine, like flow energy. Um, But once we worked together, what I was able to kind of like help her understand is that we need both the energies, right? It's like with anything, we need that balance. It's the yin and the yang. Okay. And what was happening was she was resisting that strategy so hard that she was just creating, like she'd created this beautiful community of people who loved what she shared, but they didn't feel compelled enough to join her offers or take action because they didn't understand why, right? It just felt very fluffy. So what we were able to do is we were able to introduce a content strategy that actually showed her ideal clients the the problems or the challenges that they were experiencing right now that they didn't actually know that they were experiencing. Or sorry, not that they didn't know, but they were having trouble with articulating like this is how they were feeling. So we got her to get into their heads, into their minds, and actually really truly deeply understand what they're thinking and what they're feeling challenged by. Okay. Once she started then not complete, like she didn't completely replace the type of content that she was creating, but she started to add some of this in. What started to happen was these people who had been watching her and been feeling very inspired by her were like, okay, like you actually get me, and this is what I'm experiencing now. And they felt through her content and through her conviction that she started to like create and share with that she could actually help them. Okay, and so she started to sign more clients. She started to sell spots in her offers just by making this little tweak in her content, right? Does that make sense? So she was very
100%.
in this like feminine
Mm-hmm.
state, which is beautiful, right? And it's absolutely necessary. However, once she introduced like a bit of the masculine in there to balance it out, people started to feel like, oh shit, okay, she gets me. She gets
Mm-hmm.
me. She can actually help me. Like she's more than just inspiring. She can actually help me with my problem.
I relate a lot to that. And it
Hmm.
does remind me of which internal problem do we solve, like
Yeah.
the Donald Miller book and um, story brand. Yeah.
Ah, yes, that's
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so that reminds me of that,
Yeah.
tapping into, because we have any ideal client will have an external problem, an internal problem, um, you know, and I guess people buy from an emotional standpoint as well, don't they? Like when you
Yeah.
walk into your dream house, it's
Yeah.
this what you see, what you smell, how you feel when you're there,
Yeah.
all of those things. Yeah, okay. Well, I do relate a lot to your client that you're speaking of, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And I was that client in a
okay.
past life, right? So I was
Mm.
very much like I do not want to do strategy because I was like I don't want to be like a bro marketer or anything like
Mm-hmm.
that. But what I understood, and this came from me working with a number of different mentors, right? Like I had to kind of experiment with different coaches and mentors to figure out what my way was. Okay, so I worked with some coaches who were very heavy on the you must do this or your business will fail,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then I had some others who were very like airy and
Mm-hmm.
oh, just try that, let's wing it and let's see, right? I had to find my own way, kind of in the middle of that. But what I also know is that there is no one right way, right? And so that's
Okay.
why like the work that I do with my clients is very much like, yes, like these are the steps that we can take. How does that feel for you?
Mm-hmm.
And where do we need to adjust that to make that feel better for you so that you're going to show up and you're going to execute on it every day?
Mm.
Yeah. Because at
Right.
the end of the day, I can go and tell you, I can give you 10 steps to go and take. But if
Yeah.
that feels awful for you, you're going to resist
Mm.
it. And then, you're going to create scenarios where it's like, oh, I couldn't take that action today.
Mm. So, other than helping the ideal client realize their internal problem through your messaging on what socials and email lists, is it what's another example of how we could implement some of the more masculine strategy into a feminine spiritual business?
Yeah, that's a really good question. We've got to have some guidelines, right? And I think when we realize that everything in this world needs to be in balance. So it's like we've kind of got to understand and let ourselves get okay with knowing that there's got to be some space for the masculine side. And it doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't make you masculine, or it doesn't even mean that you need to show up in a masculine way, but we've got to be able to have those systems and those frameworks behind us, right? But working with somebody or finding your own way is going to be the absolute key, I think. So I think if we can kind of like allow ourselves to welcome in the sort of the more masculine aspects of it, but letting ourselves like flow with it in our own way, I think that's a really powerful thing.
Hmm. Yeah,
Mm,
I agree because it needs to feel aligned, especially if you are a sensitive person who's in tune with your own energy,
yeah,
to go and do something that feels like really different and just it's okay. It's great to get out of your comfort zone. That's
yeah,
fine. That's one thing. And it's okay to have resistance and it's okay to have those
yeah.
things. But if it's something that just doesn't feel in alignment, I'm never going to do it.
Exactly right. And then we've got to find that line, don't we, between,
Yeah.
oh, this is new and I'm feeling a bit uncomfortable. However, I can stretch
Mm-hmm.
myself through this because
Yep.
I know that if I want a new result, I've got to take new actions, right? And I've got to
Mm-hmm.
got to try on new mindsets and do new things versus what feels completely unaligned and I just absolutely cannot get my energy behind this. So we've got to find that line. And I think that really comes down to, like sitting with it for a little bit. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've definitely had coaches share strategies with me before that just did not feel good for me. And I would sit with them, I'd even try them, and then just like, oh gosh, I just feel this just does not feel like me.
Mm-hmm.
So trusting yourself and your own intuition, I think is absolutely key as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That sounds good.
Mhm.
And what else is front of mind for you in terms of what you see and how you even change in your own business and grow?
Mm. So in terms of how I change in my own business and how I grow, like my business has evolved so much over the past few years. Oh God, when I began, I think my daughter was 1, so she's 5 now. So it's probably been about 4 years since I started. And I began sort of around the same time as I did like an NLP certification. So I became an NLP master practitioner, uh, hypnotherapist, and all of that. And I just like, I just wanted to help people, right? So I wanted to help anyone and everyone. And so my messaging at the beginning was, very much geared towards I want to help anyone and anybody,
Mm-hmm.
everyone and anyone. And what I realized very quickly, well, not very quickly, it took me a little bit of time and a couple of, couple of what am I trying to say, like months or whatever of like not getting any clients to actually realize like, okay, if I am trying to speak to everybody and my messaging is so broad, it's actually not speaking to
To
anyone,
anyone. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you would know this, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I had to get comfortable being uncomfortable by narrowing down my message, right? And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
coaches I know, I think this is important to talk about because a lot of coaches are like, oh, but if I narrow down my message and if I get too specific, like I'm going to cut out a whole lot of the market. Whereas what we actually do and what I love to do, like when I'm thinking about who my ideal client is, when I'm creating a piece of content, is I'm creating a piece of content for one person, right? And I see that one person and I get into that one person's mind and their thoughts and really understand like what is keeping them awake at night. How can I
Mm-hmm.
deeply understand that? So when that person reads my content, they're going to have that moment like, oh my God, okay, she gets me and
Mm-hmm.
she can help me. Whereas when we're trying to speak to everybody, it's like people are like, oh yeah, that's nice. Oh cool,
Mm.
really inspiring, great job. But we're
Yeah.
not actually, this kind of comes back to, again, we're not actually compelling anybody or activating them enough to actually want to move. So
Mm.
that's been one of the big lessons for me is actually going, okay, the narrower I get in my message, the more people I'm actually going to speak to. So that was
Mm.
that was a huge thing for me when I was sort of first finding my way. But my business has evolved over time and it's really interesting because on the journey, I'd sort of make myself wrong for that. But I'm a
Mm.
manifesting generator and
Same.
right, I had a funny feeling you
Yeah.
might have been. And that's just me. I now give myself permission to pivot when it feels good. And interestingly enough, like since giving myself the permission to pivot, I haven't actually felt the need or the desire to pivot as much. I've been really happy being in this space, doing what I'm doing, but just finding new and different ways to be able to share what it is that I'm doing.
Love it. That's
Yeah,
great. And it's embracing that creativity. And what I've learned, and in theory, is yes, when we have that masculine structure, it allows the feminine creative to flow
yeah,
freely through that. So that,
exactly.
yeah.
It's like even in a relationship, right? When
Mm-hmm.
you have that masculine in the
Mm.
relationship and the feminine and the masculine, creates that safety. and that space for the feminine to truly flow. It's the same thing
Mm,
in a way.
yeah,
Mm,
definitely. That polarity is important.
so
Yeah, in a
important.
conscious relationship. Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. And I just had another question. So yeah, I feel like I'm always changing and growing, and I've got to say that my podcast has been a good constant for me, a good discipline because I do always show up and I do speak to different people and I'm learning and I'm growing and it's got the same format and that's a really good practice for me and an offering for the world.
Mm,
However, with my own business and my website and my offers,
mhm,
I used to always like want to change so much and not really commit to one type of offer. And then now we've got a fresh year and I've been through more growth and travel. I do
mm,
want to pivot and change it and freshen it up a bit because I'm in a different place now. So where would I start with that?
amazing. So you've got to start with getting super crystal clear on what it is that you really want to bring to the world or who it is that you really
Mm,
desire to help, right? So,
mm,
when it comes to creating a new offer, the first place I would always start is like understanding so deeply who your soul client is, right? So
mm,
we really want to understand like, okay, what is this person going through right now? What are their
mm,
challenges? um how are those challenges manifesting in their day right now? So like, what are
mm,
the real specifics, right? And the more specific we can get here, like that's the gold, because it really shows this person that we get them, right, when we start speaking to them. And also, where do they desire to be? Okay, so we've
mm,
really got to get crystal clear on who this person is. Like that's always the first step. And then
mm,
once we know that, we can start to kind of go, okay, so what are the things that I am really good at? What are the things that I know without a shadow of a doubt that I can help this person change, transform, create in their life, whatever it is.
yeah.
Um, and what do I love doing? Okay, because at the end of the day,
Mm,
like if it doesn't feel great for you, like I know I'm really good at this thing, but it's not something that I love, you're not going to put everything into it.
yeah.
Right. So what can you, sort of, I guess, bring to the world, offer to the world that covers all of those things?
Mm.
Do you have something in mind right now?
I do. I feel like the when you're saying all those things, it's really lighting me up, and
Ooh,
it's thank you. It's a beautiful
welcome.
gift that you're sharing with me today.
Oh,
It's
love
put
that.
tears in my eyes, actually.
Oh, oh, that's
Yeah, I
beautiful.
feel like I've been really tapping into my creative expression and like playing the piano again because I used to study classical piano, so I've been sharing videos on Instagram and interviewing some musicians as well. And
Amazing.
yeah, it's lighting me up and it's interesting because it's how do I bridge all that together, right? With my offer, with coaching. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm spiritual. I've done a lot of coaching myself that I can share around mindset, and
Yeah.
I've studied in India. I've got these musical offers as well, and then because I'm yeah. Anyway, so how would I bring that together and refine my signature program, which I currently have up, which is focusing on helping people feel safe to be seen and helping
Mm,
them grow that real authentic confidence. Because, yeah, so maybe I'll just hand that over to you. And then if you've got more questions, I'll be vulnerable and share.
yeah. Um, yeah, so I guess what I would be thinking is like looking at, right, helping them feel safe to be seen so they can what? Right? What is
Mm,
it that they want to do
well,
that's
I mean, it's so they can show up for their business more
in their business? Yeah.
and represent what they're doing and their higher mission and purpose and vision and values, and and then get over themselves, get over their ego, their perfectionist, their comparing to others, feeling not good enough, not young enough,
Mm,
not hot enough, whatever we deal with as women especially,
mm-hmm.
and just yeah, being able to show up confidently and just take that next step, that leap to go, it's okay to do a video, it's okay to
Yeah.
share my truth, it's okay to that type of thing. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, good. I mean, the reason I asked is so they can do what is because like if they're in business and they're wanting to, um, you know, they're wanting to like show up better or more confidently in their business, it's going to be a very different way of speaking to them than if it was like, all right, I want to let myself be seen so that I can attract a relationship, for example, right?
Yeah.
So we want to get that like that tangibility, I guess is the word. We want to
Mm,
get like a real tangible outcome for this
mm,
person. So it's like, okay, when you join this program and you go through the content and you are coached by me or whatever your program ends
mm.
up looking like, it's like this is what you're going to walk away with. So
Yeah.
you're going to walk away having a plan in order to like be able to show up in your most magnetic self on social media so
Mm,
that you're actually like attracting your ideal clients,
mm,
and you're not holding
mm,
yourself back anymore, which is, so like right now you're not doing live videos or you're not showing up on camera, which is stopping you from actually calling in the clients that you want, right?
mm,
Things like that. So we want to be kind of thinking of what is this person actually experiencing every single day, right? They're not showing up because they're afraid of the judgment, or they're like, oh
mm,
gosh, everything's got to be perfect. It's not hair wash day, or I haven't got my makeup on,
mm,
things like that. And then we want to be able to really speak to them,
mm.
um, and what they're going through. And of course, then show them like, this is how I'm going to help you bridge that gap. This is
Mm.
how I have done it in my own life.
Yeah.
And of course, if you are working or have worked with clients on this
Yeah.
too, like showing them
Mm-hmm.
that this is, where my client was and where they are
Mm-hmm.
now as a result of the program. Um,
Mm.
and then
Yeah.
we just keep talking about it and we find new ways over time to just keep talking about it and talking about it every single day.
Mm.
Mm.
Thank you. With what I've shared, um, where I'm at now, are there any other angles or offers do you think would come out of it other than helping people show up and be seen? Is there another piece in there? I feel like there's another piece that I can offer.
Oh, there absolutely could be. Yeah. I mean, for
Mm.
you, what I would do is I would really sit with that within yourself and
Mm-hmm.
be like, okay, this is what I'm feeling passionate about and I know that I can help people with. What
Mm.
else feels good, right? Maybe it's like an 8-week signature program where you have, you like have 5, 10, 15 people coming through this program. And then maybe you have like a VIP one-to-one offer as well that you offer on
Mm.
top of that. So as they're going through, the group program, they get like, weekly or fortnightly calls with you on a one-to-one
Mm.
basis to kind of deepen the transformation.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's
Or
great.
retreats.
Yeah, well, that's right. I've I've
Mm.
I've done a couple before, and I definitely want to do more at a bigger scale, and
Yeah.
with my partner as well about around conscious relationships and bringing that conscious community together as well would be really
Oh,
fun
beautiful.
because we're
Yeah.
so tapped into that on the Sunshine Coast at the moment.
Yeah.
There's some really amazing people here doing great things. Yeah.
I absolutely agree, and I can definitely see you running retreats as well. You have such a
Oh,
beautiful
cool.
energy. I can just see that.
Oh.
Yeah, you'd create such a beautiful space.
Oh, thank you. Would you like to share your offers or what your main offer is at the moment with the audience? And then I'll pop the links up in the show notes.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Yes. So, Clients Confidence and Cash, which is my signature 8-week program to create and sell out your own signature program, double your income and 10x your impact. So, as I sort of talked about before, like this is a hybrid program where you not only get the group experience, but you have the self-paced video modules as well. So it's like you're getting the information and the how to do it, but then you get the integration by way of, the weekly Zoom calls and the Telegram group and that sort of thing. But um, this is the space that you want to come to, even if you're a new coach and you're like, okay, I haven't created an offer yet, but I want to, or you have created an offer before and you got crickets, which has happened to so many of us, me
Mhm.
included. Or you are in that place, like I was talking before, like you're working a lot of with a lot of one-to-one clients, you're doing a lot of your calendar is filling up, which kind of on the
Yeah.
surface looks great, but it's not leaving you enough space to be able to go, all right, I want to scale my business because I want to make more money and more impact, but I don't know how to do that. So
Mhm.
this is that space to be able to do that. So I have a background in corporate training and coaching. So my role back feels like a whole other life ago was to work with our departments I worked in a finance business, to work with the departments to create their training programs so that they could then upskill their staff, teach new staff, coach the staff ongoing. So I got really good at like, having to understand what this client's problem was, and then to be able to deliver a training program that was going to solve that problem. So yeah, this has been my way of being able to bring that, piece of the corporate world, which I actually loved, into what I love doing and amplify that even more. So yeah, that's my offer. So right now for the rest of January as well, like you have the opportunity to come in for 21 days completely free and like see what you think of the program. You get to join all of our calls. We're about to do in half an hour, about to do a content workshop with everybody. So you get to like come in and see if you like the program for 21 days. There's no catch, no nothing, but you must be like willing to put in 110% for 21 days and you'll get amazing results. So
Oh, that's so cool. And then let's just say that happened. What would be the next step if they want to keep working with you then after the
yeah, then
21 days?
absolutely. The next step is you can absolutely stay in the program, if it's a good fit for both of us. So yeah.
For 8 weeks or what? How
Eight
long?
weeks. Yes.
Eight
Yes. Another
weeks.
eight
Yeah.
weeks. Yeah.
Another 8 weeks on top of the
Yeah.
21 days.
Yeah. So the 21
That's
days is like a bonus 3 weeks pretty much. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, it's like try before you buy. And if people get wins
Yeah.
on the board, then they're like, yeah, let's keep going. So that's
Exactly.
awesome.
And
I
let's
love
be
it.
honest, like I know I can relate to this from personal experience as well. But I mean, a lot of people have been in situations before where they're like, oh my God, I've spent so much money on
Yeah.
coaching and I haven't got the results, or it wasn't what I expected it to be, or, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't, they didn't deliver basically. So
Yeah.
that's exactly why I wanted to create this offer as a way, like this is a risk-free way that you can come in, you can get some coaching now. And if that's as far as it goes for you, amazing. Like I've helped you. But then if you
Mm.
want to stay and you want to really like integrate the results and you want to build something sustainable, then you have
Mm-hmm.
the opportunity to do that as well.
Oh, beautiful. That's
Yeah.
great, Carly. Well, thanks for joining me today and
Thank
en
you.
enjoy the rest of your day.
I will. Thank you so much for having me. This was a beautiful conversation.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Carly, for that conversation on how to create and sell out your signature offer. Here are the key takeaways. Embrace momentum and the power of taking action. Even if you don't know the outcome or exactly where you're going to go, take a step forward. Things become clearer in movement. Don't fall into the perfectionist trap. Don't hold yourself back, always trying to be perfect, have the perfect hair, have the perfect makeup. It doesn't matter. If you're aligned to your messaging and you can articulate the key transformation that the client will experience from working with you, that's gold right there. That's what people will pay for. When you're creating your signature offer, ask yourself the following questions. Where does your client desire to be? What am I good at? What can I help this person with? And what do I love doing?
Thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to me. These conversations are having such a positive ripple effect all around the world. So if you really enjoy them and want to spread those good vibes, please remember to subscribe, comment, like, and share with someone you care about today.